Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Robinson Miles. Jamie Buchanan was a little bit busy today. They've got her on some other things. We've got a lot happening in the newsroom right now, so you are stuck with just me. But we do have a lot of stuff happening there on the tri-state right now, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First of all, new numbers today from INDOT. They say they just received the first traffic data for the new hybrid intersection at the Lloyd Expressway and Stockwell Road. Officials say they've had fewer crashes, reduced travel times, and improved corridor efficiency. Now, we'll have a live report tonight on its progress, all those changes we're seeing, and that is key. Now, follow up on something that we started watching yesterday. We have new surveillance video of the end of that police chase in southern Vanderburgh County. We actually kind of have a different look at everything that happened there. So you can see from the camera on the Free Pentecostal Church, the suspect crashed his car and deputies close in on him. Now this is on Ficus Road, just off Van Avenue. Several patrol cars rolled up to the scene right afterwards and arrested 22-year-old Isaiah Pulley. We're told no one was hurt. Officers say he was wanted on a felony fraud warrant. Pulley is now facing a long list of charges. Now, looking at a few things happening in the tri-state on a slightly lighter note, this is one thing that we were looking at a bit earlier. Well, for one, this is one of the big summer events and is now fully underway. The Kentucky Bike Rally now underway in Sturgis. Oh, of course, the technology is just going to fight me here. All right, well, you're just going to have to trust me that it is. The Kentucky Bike Rally underway now. Many motorcycles, of course, rolled in yesterday for the early bird events. And this morning at 7 was the official opening of the rally. Today, they also had the blessing of the bikes. And there will be bands performing tonight, and then the rally runs through Saturday night. Now, we have a crew in Sturgis, and we'll have more for you tonight at 5 and 6. A bit of a... something all the reporters get to do is that when they're new, they get to go down there and they get to cover everything at Sturgis. Now, for our final story for the news portion here, there will soon be a new place to get your sugar fix. Pictures on it So on this finest of Thursdays, there is a lot going on right now in the tri-state. As I mentioned, we have our reporters and photographers all over, so be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And then outside of that, of course, it is another very warm day today with that little extra wrinkle of having a bit of rain to keep our eye out for. Arden Gregory is going to give us a closer look at that after the break. Stick around.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. This is a live look at the view from our 14 News studio tower camera. Quite a bit of blue sky in the picture there, but some clouds scattered across the tri-state as well, and some of those are producing some rain. We may have a chance for some spotty rain early in the night tonight, but then the rain tapers off, and late tonight into early tomorrow morning, as our temperatures fall back into the mid-70s, we could see some fog. Moving forward, we're going to stay in kind of the same pattern with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s and a chance of rain each afternoon. But then there is at least the potential for a cool down by the middle of next week. Let's talk about the rain chances, though. Right now, we are tracking very spotty rain across the tri-state. I know this radar looks very busy. As we expected, we had clouds kind of start to bubble up earlier this morning, and then the rain started to pop up closer to lunchtime. And so it's very, very spotty out there right now. This is kind of a stilled view of it. You can see much of the tri-state mostly sunny right now, but there are those clouds, and within the clouds, several of them are producing just a little bit of very spotty rain across Wayne, Edwards, Wabash, Gibson, a little bit in White County, one bit of heavy rain on the east side of Evansville there, and then some more spotty showers as you get into Webster, Hopkins, and then down around McLean and Muhlenberg counties. But again, it's very, very isolated, and so we'll continue to see this spotty rain kind of bubbling up across the tri-state as we go through the rest of this afternoon and evening. So do not be at all surprised if you do get caught under a shower or maybe even a brief thunderstorm as we go through the next few hours. That rain will then start to taper off once the sun goes down. You could maybe have a stray shower up through about 11 p.m. But after that, we should really dry things out. Tomorrow morning, this particular model has us completely dry. Some of the models are showing maybe a stray shower tomorrow morning. I think we'll probably be dry, but just be aware I wouldn't totally rule out that possibility. Then, kind of like what we saw today, this spotty rain starts to pop up around lunchtime tomorrow and sticks with us through Friday afternoon and evening. So not a total washout, but there will be scattered rain kind of on and off across the tri-state through the whole second half of the day on Friday. Then again, that rain starts to taper off as we head into the overnight hours. Saturday, maybe a stray shower, but most likely dry in the morning. Again, we're caught in the same weather pattern where spotty rain then starts to pop up around the middle of the day and sticks with us through the afternoon and evening. Many of you may end up dodging that rain and stay completely dry, but we do have these just isolated rain and thunderstorm chances even through the overnight hours Saturday night. Then it looks like we'll dry things out again by Sunday morning. As for our risk of seeing any thunderstorms or severe weather, we are outlooked for general run-of-the-mill thunderstorms today and tomorrow. So you may hear a few rumbles of thunder, see some lightning, get some pockets of heavy rain, but we're not expecting severe weather. Saturday, one change is they have now put us in a level 1 risk for a low level possibility of maybe an isolated strong to severe storm. That would really just be for the potential for an isolated damaging wind gust. Some of the storms on Saturday may be capable of producing some gusty winds. When you look specifically at the flooding threat, we are outlooked at a level 1 risk for flooding both today and tomorrow, and then the flooding threat moves out on Saturday. So the summary here is wind and heavy rain are the two main threats, but overall our severe weather threat is low. Specifically addressing that flooding potential, the rain totals are not going to be that impressive for most of the tri-state. You can see we're in this green to blue shade here. Most of us will probably land somewhere kind of right around a ½ inch of rain over the next couple of days. But there is that potential that you could get a thunderstorm that pops up, may not be moving very quickly, and so it may put down some heavy rain over one area for a while, and then you could see just these little spots over the tri-state where you could have some very localized flooding, but it's not going to be a widespread concern because the rain itself will be fairly scattered, and then the chances of that rain being heavy enough to produce flooding is even more isolated. So overall, our risk of any kind of severe weather very, very low. We've held off on any first alert weather days just because I don't see any particular day that stands out to me as any kind of major threat. We've got just this scattered chance of rain and thunderstorms each afternoon, and within those thunderstorms there's just this very low level risk that we could maybe see some isolated flooding or an isolated damaging wind gust. But overall, our threat for severe weather through the next 2 or 3 days is very low. Checking in on the comments here. Hello, Sari, Ricky, Ty, Laura. Laura says it's raining right now in Dawson Springs. Ty says either getting rain or wanting rain in Sturgis. I'm not sure on that. And then Cheyenne says it's raining pretty good off Oak Hill. Yeah, I mentioned the east side of Evansville. They're getting some heavy rain. So we're going to continue to see just this very scattered rain. Like I said, the sun's out here at the station on the west side of Evansville, and then they've got some pretty heavy rain falling on the east side of Evansville. And that's just how it's going to go through the next couple of days here. It's going to be very scattered, where you could have a thunderstorm with heavy rain and maybe even some isolated flooding on one side of town, and the other side of town stays completely dry. It's just going to be luck of the draw where that scattered rain pops up. But overall, again, I want to emphasize that while we could see some thunderstorms and even an isolated damaging wind gust, some lightning or some flooding can't be totally ruled out. Overall, our severe weather threat is very low. It is steamy out there again today. Our temperatures are currently sitting in the upper 80s to low 90s. It's 88 in Evansville and Henderson, Owensboro at 90, Newburgh at 91. But when you factor in the humidity, it does feel a few degrees hotter than it actually is. Evansville with a heat index of 97, Henderson feeling like 99, and Owensboro very sticky there with a heat index of 104 right now. So if you are headed out to one of the county fairs going on, I believe Posey and Warwick are both happening this week, be prepared to sweat. Those temperatures are in the upper 80s to low 90s and will be for the next 2 or 3 hours. Then we'll start to cool off back into the 80s as the sun starts to set. There is that chance you could get caught under some scattered rain or maybe even a thunderstorm as we go through the rest of this evening. So don't be shocked if you get a little rain out there. And be very mindful, if you hear thunder, you need to move indoors. You don't want to be standing outside if there's lightning in the area. Overnight, that spotty rain comes to an end early. Temperatures very mild, and it'll still be pretty muggy out there too, with temperatures only falling back into the low to mid 70s. And then we could see some patchy fog developing late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be another hot one, partly sunny, highs in the upper 80s to maybe right around 90. And we do have that chance for some scattered rain and thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon and evening. Then we are still kind of caught in the same weather pattern with some hit or miss rain chances, mainly during the afternoon and evening on Saturday. Sunday and Monday, there's still a chance for a stray shower or storm popping up in the afternoon, but those days are trending a little bit drier. A weak cold front will move through the tri-state on Tuesday. It's going to be very hot and humid during the day Tuesday. Looks like that cold front will then move through a little bit later. Doesn't look like it's going to bring us much in the way of rain or thunderstorms, but as that cold front is pushing through, a few scattered showers and storms certainly possible. Then behind that cold front, much more comfortable weather takes over for the middle of next week. By Wednesday and Thursday, we're looking at partly to mostly sunny skies, lower humidity, and highs only reaching the low to mid 80s. So we'll actually be a little cooler than average by the middle of next week. So far, we've been getting these kind of tiny heat waves as we've gone through the month of July. That's pretty common for this time of year. We started out dangerously hot at the beginning of the month. Then that heat wave kind of broke over Independence Day weekend as some scattered rain moved in. We've been in the 90s the past 2 days. I think we'll probably make it to 90 again this afternoon. It'll depend on if we get caught under any of that rain. A shower, even if it is brief, would cool us down enough that I don't think we would quite get there. We've had some scattered rain across the tri-state this July. I know there have been some areas that have had kind of pockets where you get a little thunderstorm that puts down very heavy rain over one location, but that's been very isolated. So the rain totals at the Evansville Regional Airport thus far have been pretty unimpressive, but still some scattered rain chances nonetheless. Looking at the drought monitor, which did update today, no major changes. We are not included in drought anymore in the tri-state. We were in drought basically all spring, but then May, June, we finally got some real significant rainfall that helped pull us out of that drought, and we've had enough scattered rain this July that we've maintained that. Drought was a problem for much of the country this spring. A lot of folks have seen some improvement now. Drought still an issue, though, along the mid-Atlantic there, along the Carolinas into Virginia and up toward D.C., and then still some pretty major drought happening along the Rockies and into the Four Corners region there. A lot of their water this time of year is very dependent on the snowpack that they got over the winter, and they had record low snowpack this winter, so it's uncommon for them to get a whole lot of rain at this point to kind of pull them out of that drought. I mentioned this little cool down we have on the way. Temperatures hot, but very seasonable. I mean, it's mid-July. It's supposed to be hot. Upper 80s to low 90s through the rest of this week and into the start of next week. Our overnight lows might be a little warmer and muggier than normal for this time of year, though, just by a few degrees. Normally, we'd be seeing lows in the upper 60s. Instead, we've got lows in the low to mid 70s. As that cold front moves through on Tuesday, though, that will cool us off a bit. We're looking at highs in the low to mid 80s, so a few degrees cooler than average by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. The extended outlook for next weekend then shows that wetter weather pushes off to our east, and it looks like the hotter weather will be focused mainly to our south, but it may start to build in a little bit. So that cool down, that break from the heat Wednesday and Thursday of next week may not last very long. We may start to see those more typical summertime temperatures creeping back in as we head toward next weekend. Abigail asking about severe weather today. We are not expecting severe weather today, but you could certainly get some thunderstorms with some gusty winds, some heavy rain, and some lightning. So not concerned about things like hail or tornadoes or widespread damaging winds or widespread flooding, nothing like that. But within these thunderstorms that are popping up this afternoon, it's possible that one or two of them could really get going and produce some lightning. Could get a little breezy as that storm is moving through, and you could also see some pockets of heavy rain, although it shouldn't be a widespread issue. But again, it's just going to be luck of the draw on who gets caught under that. Some of you may stay dry this entire evening. Others may get hit with a thunderstorm. So if you have outdoor plans, just make sure you're keeping an eye on the sky, checking the radar on the 14 First Alert app. Just be aware of if there's a storm moving into where you are. And certainly if you hear thunder, even if it's not raining yet, go ahead and pack it up, move inside. If you're close enough to hear the thunder, you're close enough to get struck by the lightning, even if the storm has not reached you. So just be aware of that. And William says he's having trouble with the radar on the app. I'll have to look into that, William. I was using it not today, but yesterday, and it worked fine for me. Then you may need to update your app, William, so maybe double check on that. You may need to update the app to the latest version if you're having some problems with it. I haven't heard of anyone else having issues with the radar, but I'll check on it as soon as I get off of here. Speaking of, I need to get off of here and get ready for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. I'll have your forecast tonight, and I'll also do another streaming show here tonight at 9, so I hope you'll join me for that then. Everybody have a great rest of your day.